Tidbits from TNT, Saturday morning, the 8th of February 2025. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Tishwash. Will Iraq succeed in transforming into a digital economy? In a move that could change the features of the Iraqi economic landscape. The Central Bank of Iraq announced that the government is working to develop regulatory frameworks to support the transition to a digital economy, with a special focus on electronic payment. However, questions are being raised about the readiness of the infrastructure for this transformation, especially in light of the challenges related to financial corruption, weak electronic services, and the reliance of most sectors on cash transactions. While official bodies stress the importance of moving to the digital economy to stimulate growth, citizens and merchants fear the imposition of ill-considered payment mechanisms that may hinder their interests, especially in light of the lack of trust in local banking systems. Will the government succeed in convincing Iraqis to abandon cash in favor of electronic payment? Or will this initiative face failure as happened with previous projects? Tishwash. Iranian currency plunges to record low after fresh U.S. move. It remains unclear how funding for Iranian activists and opposition figures would be affected by the USAID decision. Tehran. Iran's currency plunged on Wednesday to a record low of 850,000 rials to $1 after U.S. President Donald Trump ordered a restart to the maximum pressure campaign targeting Tehran. Trump's order calls for halting Iran's oil exports and pursuing a snapback of UN sanctions on Iran. However, he also suggested he didn't want to impose those sanctions and wanted to reach a deal with Iran. The move comes as Trump's moves to freeze spending on foreign aid and overhaul, or even end, the U.S. Agency for International Development have been lauded in Iranian state media. Meanwhile, ordinary Iranians worry what all this could mean for them. It encourages hardliners inside Iran to continue repressions because they feel the U.S. would have less capability in supporting Iranian people who seek freedom, said Maryam Faraji, a 27-year-old waitress in a coffee shop in northern Tehran. Iranian media say Trump's cuts could stop the opposition in Iran. The state-run IRNA news agency said that cutting the budget of foreign-based opposition could affect the sphere of relations between Tehran and Washington. Newspapers, like the conservative Hamshari Daily, described Iran's opposition as counter-revolutionaries, who had been celebrating Trump's election as heralding the last days of life of the Islamic Republic. They then suddenly faced the surprise of cut funding from their employer, the newspaper crowed. Even the reformist newspaper Hamahan compared it to a cold shower for opponents of Iran's theocracy abroad, an idea also expressed by the foreign ministry. Those financial resources are not charity donations, Esmail Baghaei, Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, said during a briefing with reporters. They are wages paid in exchange for services. It remains unclear how funding for Iranian activists and opposition figures would be affected by the USAID decision. The lion's share of money for civil society in Iran has come through the U.S. State Department's Near East Regional Democracy Fund, known by the acronym NERD, which grew as an American response to the Green Movement protests in 2009. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon.